California's Golden Parks is made possible by Toyota, who is committed to keeping the air clean at all our beautiful parks with its hybrid Synergy Drive technology. In vehicles like the innovative Prius, Highlander Hybrid, and the Camry Hybrid, lower emissions and higher gas mileage help hybrid Synergy Drive vehicles create a minimal impact on the environment. So take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy another one of California's Golden Parks.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell, and here we are on this absolutely spectacular day in the picturesque little beach community of Carpinteria in Santa Barbara County on our state's central coast. Although from the looks of things right now, with the exception of the Santa Ynez Mountains back there in the background, you wouldn't know where we are because we're standing here right in the middle of, well, Andrea, what is this that's right here behind us?
This is coastal sage scrub and chaparral vegetation.
All right, and she would know. Introduce yourself to everybody.
I'm Andrea Adams-Morden. I'm the steward here at the Carpinteria Salt Marsh Nature Park.
The Salt Marsh Nature Park. And this, when you say it, you can't keep from smiling, can you? Because this is something that is your love, one of your loves in life.
Yes, it is.
All right, we're going to talk about it, and we got to keep moving because this is just one of two stops here in Carpinteria for us, but just walking through this is absolutely, look down here, we're walking down a trail. We could head off this way or we could go straight. We're walking right through this what do you call this again?
This is chaparral mallow.
Chaparral mallow, and we're walking to, we got a whole group of people here to meet us. Good afternoon. How you all doing?
Just fine.
I didn't know we were going to have such a big welcoming committee. Are you all the docents, the staff, the overseers? What?
Yes, we're the boss.
You're the bosses. All right, who wants to tell us? Come on over here, Andrea.
She's really the boss.
Tell us the story about how all of this came about, because what we're looking at here right now, first off, how much acreage and why is this acreage important?
Well, there's 230 acres of salt marsh here, and it's important because 90 to 95% of the wetlands in California have been destroyed. And so the university took over part of this acreage. Part of it belongs to the people who live along the coast here, and then part of it belongs to the Santa Barbara Land Trust, and this section here was purchased by 13 groups of people with 10 different monetary helpers, and then we created the Carpinteria Salt Marsh Nature Park here, which was filled up with dirt, and it was ready to become 75 condominiums.
Ah, this is another one of those stories about something where the locals got all activated and fired up.
Right.
And put a stop to condos being built.
That's right. And also, very importantly, UCSB has 120 acres in the center of it, which is one of their many reserves. And they do a lot of research. They're discovering new insects. They count the fish. They count the crabs. They count everything.
Andrea just found part of a crab.
This whole area gets inundated by the salt water 2 times a day, and so there's crabs that live right in the water over there.
So the water level is coming up. Can we walk out in here?
Be real careful because you can start sinking in.
How deep does the water get here at high tide?
Well, it goes all the way back up towards where we were standing at the viewing site. See where the bricks are over there.
You mean so the water is up over all of this?
It can be up over all of this.
Wow. And that piece of litter in the water is also part of what this marsh is all about.
Marshes are filters for all the trash and all the pollutants that are coming down from the houses up above.
So all of this is washing down and what, washing out to sea?
And well, it doesn't usually get out to sea. The marsh holds it, and so all of the pollutants stay in the marsh, and it goes into the muds, and it holds it there so it doesn't go out into the seawater, and it keeps the water going to the sea clean.
Ah, so all of this is natural green algae over here. What is this?
This algae is growing so nicely because fertilizers coming from people's homes and agriculture up above.
More of the pollutants.
More of the pollutants are coming down to here.
This is really an indicator of just how much stuff washes down out of the hills.
That's right. And marshes are really important because the thing marshes do is they clean the water. Then it makes it clean for the ocean fish and all the animals out there and for us at the beach.
So this is just a big sieve, just
That's
a big filter.
It is.
Right here. That's what a marsh is.
A marsh is a filter, and then it's a nursery for fish that live in the sea even.
Do you have a lot of fish in here?
We do.
What kind of fish?
Okay, we'd have little fish here. We'd have top smelts and killifish, but then in the creek that's behind the berm over there, we have huge fish that are big like this, the corbinas, which go in schools. We have littler fish that are the jumping mullets who jump out of the water. And then occasionally we will get big ones like you, the sharks will come in there and eat crabs off the bottom.
Wait a minute, sharks will come in here?
They won't come in here because it's too shallow here, but in the creek it gets deeper and it can be, you know, 5 or 6 feet deep, and they'll come up there and eat crabs.
So there's a lot going on here.
There's a lot going on here.
A lot more than meets the eye, because this is deceiving, isn't it? This just looks like
low growth.
Yeah.
But even in here, as you walk across the pickleweed here, you will see hundreds of spiders going off in all directions away from your walking. You'll find live crabs in here as well as the dead ones. You'll find all sorts of snails. It's just a very alive place.
Isn't it interesting the different ways different people see the same piece of land? Because for some people, I'm sure they looked at this and saw
wasteland or weeds, just a bunch of weeds. And we're so polite, we call the plants that people grow in their gardens, we call them exotics, but they call what we have weeds. These are native plants.
So part of what you had to do was to educate the public and sensitize the public.
Right, and that's what the Indians use the chumash to make their baskets. That's Juncus textilis.
Right here.
Right here.
So the Native Americans knew what this was all about early on.
Absolutely.
It just takes the rest of us a while to catch on.
Right.
And there's a what?
A pygmy blue butterfly.
A pygmy blue. Oh boy, this is a teeny one.
The world's smallest, isn't it?
The world's smallest, right on the end of that little flower right there. Boy, you all have a good eye. That's called a pygmy blue butterfly. Oh my gosh. See, you got to know what you're looking for out here in this marsh. And I think I'm with the right people, because you all spotted that one. I never would have seen that. The salt marsh bird's beak.
Okay, there's 2 plants.
The salt marsh goldfields.
And
the
2 birds.
light-footed clapper rail. And the Belding Savannah sparrow.
And we have the pygmy blue butterfly.
And it says that this marsh is home to at least 23 rare plants and animals, some of which are endangered.
Yeah.
So I guess people just come out and look and soak all of this in. And what's interesting, we've got the layers here of the natural flora and fauna here. And then if you just look right over, you see the houses.
One of the big things is that everyone builds right up to the edge of the marsh, and so there's very little marsh edge left. And so one of the reasons we put the park here was to create marsh edge, because a lot of animals have part of their lifespan in the wet part of the marsh, and then they need the edge plants in order to complete their lifespan, like the pygmy blue butterfly. And so it's really important to have both environments, and so that's what this was created for.
Well, you all have done a great job. Let's get everybody lined up here together. Is this the whole staff here? Is this everybody?
No, these are just my old timers that have been with us for the last 6 years since the park was open.
How does it feel being described as the old timers?
Hey, a veteran. I like the term veteran.
That's right. They're veterans.
These are my veterans.
They're veterans of the war that was fought here in Carpinteria to preserve this, to save this, to have this for future generations. It could have very easily have been, actually you said it had already been filled in.
Yes.
Ready to build the condos.
Build the condos. And it's just been 6 years since this was created.
And you scooped it back out and returned it to its original state.
That's right.
I've never heard of anything that ambitious before.
Isn't that impressive?
How much it all cost?
How much did it all cost?
$5 million.
Now, after you wrote the check for the first $2 million, did the community just raise the rest of it?
It cost $2.5 to purchase it, which is a real bargain in today's terms, plus about $2.5 million to restore it, the stonework and the everything and the plantings and that.
Well, if there was ever an example of a community coming together to do something good and to save something and to preserve something and to keep something precious in its pristine state, that's what has happened here in Carpinteria. Congratulations to all of you. Give us a wave. You represent all of the good people of Carpinteria who came together to save this acreage and preserve it for future generations. Again, it's called the
Carpinteria Salt Marsh Nature Park.
And it is definitely one of California's golden parks. And now we're getting ready to go just about a half a block from here to visit another park at the beach, and it's golden too. Our adventure here in Carpinteria continues. We have come just a few blocks from the salt marsh, and we are in this absolutely beautiful setting. I am walking with Marie Lindsay, who is the interpreter here at
Carpinteria State Beach.
Carpinteria State Beach. And look at this. It goes all the way. Well, how big is this beach, Marie?
It's about a mile from end to end.
So we got a mile of California coastline here.
You do, a very special place.
And too bad we had such a lousy day to spend the day here at your beach.
Yeah.
Another bad day in paradise.
It is, it is.
Well, tell us what people do when they come here, because I would imagine in the summer this place is packed.
It is, it is. Summer, this is a big place. People come to camp. Families come here year after year. We have 216 camping spaces, and you can camp year round. Summertime, people are fishing, surfing, boogie boarding, swimming in the water. We have fantastic at low tides. We have tide pools. We have harbor seals year round. And we also have gray whales that migrate through in the spring.
So there's always something going on, and this is what I love about California. Here it is, this beautiful fall afternoon. The sun is out, it's warm, it's clear, and there are 5 people out here on the beach.
Oh, it's fantastic.
All the tourists have gone home.
It's the best time of year.
And all the locals are out here enjoying this. This is absolutely spectacular. Carpinteria State Beach in Carpinteria.
Yes.
And all of those activities you mentioned, the kayaking, the swimming, the surfing, the boogie boarding, the whale watching, the tide pools, all of that sounds absolutely wonderful. But you know that's not why we're here.
I know that.
And what we're looking for, isn't it just a little ways down the beach here?
Yep, just down that way.
All right, that's where we're going right now. You know, we found a hidden part of the salt marsh, because at first glance, the salt marsh looks like just a big marsh with not much going on, but we quickly found out all the wonderful things going on there. At first glance, when you come to this beach, it looks like just a beautiful, big, broad, wonderful swimming, surfing beach, but there is some hidden history here that makes it a very special place as well, and that's where we're going right now. Right down the beach, about what?
Quarter mile.
Quarter of a mile. And now for what they call the rest of the story, because here at Carpinteria State Beach, in addition to the swimming and the surfing and the kayaking and the boogie boarding and the whale watching and the tide pooling, there's something else on this beach, and here to tell us about it is David. Introduce yourself to everybody.
David Griggs, the curator of the Carpinteria Valley Museum of History.
All right, and we need to start right off the bat by taking a look at where we're standing right now. At first glance, you really don't know what this is, but when you get close to it and get over close to it and put your finger right in it, it's tar. Historic tar that's been right here on this beach for how long?
Well, it was formed about up to 25 million years ago, but it's been oozing out here for thousands and thousands of years.
And it has a rich human connection with it too, doesn't it?
Well, its presence is the reason that La Carpinteria got its name. when Portal Expedition came and saw the Chumash Indians using it to caulk their wooden canoes, they named the place the Carpenter Shop.
So it started with the Chumash using this to what? To make waterproof their canoes?
That's the highest and best use of it. They used it for a myriad of things. The Chumash used it for adhesives. They would glue knives and arrowheads onto wooden shafts. They could use it to mend broken stone vessels. The women even put little balls of it on the end of their grass skirt to weight it down so they wouldn't blow open in the wind.
Now, has it always just been, I don't know how I'm going to get this off my finger. This is just going to be here for a while for historical purposes. Has it always been oozing out like this, or do we know that?
Well, here it has. It's actually not called tar. It's called asphaltum. And this is liquid asphaltum. And what people are used to is the harder asphalt on roadways. This has oozed out from gas pressure for millions of years.
Now, up and down this whole beach, or just right here? I don't see it anywhere else up and down the beach.
Well, this is one of the active places for it, where it comes up in a more liquid form. It's closer to oil. What asphaltum is really an oil that has had a lot of the volatile elements evaporated off of it, and so it gets thicker, and it eventually gets to the point where it's a hard rock.
Now, this has been, I've seen the old pictures, this has been used as asphalt here, hasn't it?
Well, Carpinteria has a tremendous history of asphalt mining, where the hard rock asphalt and this liquid, which would be used as a flux to the hard rock and mixed with crushed gravel, became the preferred road pavements for all of America.
So wait a minute, they were mining?
They actually mined this stuff. Up along the berms, they left a rock berm of solid asphalt along the beach, what is now the State Beach, and behind that, they mined an area about 75 acres and down to the depth of about 20 feet.
Mined asphalt?
They mined the asphalt.
When did this go on?
Well, it began in 1875. William Crocker Company in San Francisco, Crocker Bank, all of that, had a company called the California Petroleum and Asphalt Company. And they established the Alcatraz asphalt works here in Carpinteria.
So Carpinteria in the early days was known as a source of asphalt.
The highest and the best in the world, actually.
In the world?
In the world.
So they were building roads with asphalt from Carpinteria all over California, all over the country?
All over the country. There's 1890s testimonials from the mayor of Omaha stating the beauty and the elasticity and the durability of Carpinteria asphalt, because prior to this it came from the island of Trinidad off of Venezuela, about 35% pure. And this is 98% pure.
And is this just a limitless? Can we walk over here and see this?
Well, this is just...
How close can we get in here without it? Oh, wow, look.
It's a warm day today, and it is soft under your feet.
Because this looks hard,
well,
but it's really not.
That's just on
right underneath here, it's given away, but I was just looking at this. Look over here. It's just pouring out. It's just like a continuous seep of it coming out of there.
Well, and this stuff the Indians would call malik, this liquid form. The rock asphalt really became quite a valuable addition to the Chumash Indians that lived in this area.
You don't want to come over here, do you?
It was a major commodity. Well, no, I'll do it.
Come on, you got to get in here.
Watch, you just see.
Because this has got to be a problem for people using this beach over the years.
Yeah, well, you know, it's pushed up by gas pressure, natural gas pressure, and so as oil comes up in the channel, and people always say there's tar on the beach, and it's actually oil, liquid asphalt.
It's an oil spill, and it's not.
They do. It's not really from the oil rigs or from ships passing by. This is one of the most actively seeping areas in the world.
And you know, I'm sinking right now. Yeah, I'm sinking. I'm sinking into this historic asphalt. But look at it from over here. This really, with the sun hitting it here, it's just coming right out of the side of this bluff.
And it just oozes down. And
what happens to it? Does it get, I mean, it seems to stop right here around the edge.
Well, the tide will come up, and as the high tide comes up, it will cool this down more.
Oh, look, it's all, I hadn't even seen this.
Well, as it's exposed to air, these volatile elements, it continues to evaporate off some of the elements of this tar, of this really heavy oil.
Now, wait a minute, I want to grab a piece of this, just pull it right off here. Oh my gosh, this is a mess.
You might regret that.
This is a mess.
Well,
look at this.
The Chumash didn't consider it much of a mess. They considered it black gold. Truly it was.
Oh, look at this.
The village of Meshopshano here in Carpinteria became one of the wealthiest and definitely the center of canoe building.
Because they had
they had this inexhaustible to them resource.
We have found some asphaltum. What are these, stalactites hanging down?
Stalactite would be
stalactites.
Yeah.
And why is it that when I see these things, I think of chewing gum?
Well, besides the texture, actually you heard me talking about the Chumash. One of the very strange uses that the Chumash would put asphaltum to would be that they would chew on pieces of it like gum.
Wow, what was the... And I'm not going to do that. I usually get into the stories, but I'm not going to do that.
It's not that tasty, I wouldn't think, but some of the old timers here in Carpinteria have said that when they first paved the roads here, they would follow behind and pick up a piece of this fresh asphalt and chew on it without even knowing that the Chumash had. They said it tasted kind of like licorice.
It's got a...
It obviously looks like licorice.
It's got a smell to it. You know that you're around it when you're here on the beach, don't you?
You do. Yeah.
What did the early beachgoers... Did the locals knew it was here, or they just stayed away from here probably, or?
Well, you know, even before it was commercially mined, different pieces of rock asphalt, they could be used as a fuel, so people would burn it like a briquette.
But I mean, what about the people swimming in the beach? This wasn't a very...
No, they think this is, you know, this. If they walk in it barefoot, they're not going to appreciate it very much at all.
Yeah, because it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. Well, you know,
can't get it off.
Of course, in the Pleistocene, and something that we hadn't really mentioned here, but you know, there's Rancho La Brea in Los Angeles.
Yeah, animals would get stuck in this.
Well, much the same thing happened in these Carpinteria pits, and in the 1920s they did a series of excavations, and they found mastodon, condor, dire wolf, all of that.
Wow, this is... I tell you, this really, when you look down here, the sun is hitting it just right, and it really just reflects. Everywhere you look, there's asphaltum pouring out of the side of the cliff here. This is truly amazing. Your name is?
Herman.
You're from the museum as well.
I am.
And what have we got here? What is Herman carrying here? This is very interesting.
Well, what he's carrying is something that's pretty darn heavy. So it's an iron blade or spade, and it was used by the miners from the 1870s on until the turn of the century in mining the asphaltum. And they would actually heat these big iron things up in a box furnace, and the men would often wear block of wood on the bottom soles of their shoes so they wouldn't burn through it, because these things would get red hot, and it would facilitate the cutting of asphalt, which they would cut in blocks and load on into a
I've
crane.
seen the old pictures show these guys standing around. Did these shovels have a name?
They're just called
asphalt shovels.
Asphalt spades or asphalt shovels,
so that would have been going on all up and down this beach
for 70 some acres, and for, well, actually off and on for 60 years.
When did they stop mining asphaltum here?
About the mid-30s. They opened up a new mine just to the east of us here, where they just used it for local county road pavements. But this main section was mined for about 30 years, from 1875 on.
Wow, this is so interesting. Look at this. We started, you know, this whole adventure, we started in the salt marsh, which had, you know, at first glance, it just looks like, to a lot of people, just a big
bunch of weeds.
Bunch of weeds.
Oh, no, it's gorgeous.
But it's not. It's a real resource here for our state. And we've ended up here at Carpinteria State Beach, which most people think of as this beautiful beach just for recreation.
Oh, yeah, world's safest, all of that.
And yet, here's another layer to this park as well, the asphaltum layer, which just goes to show you how rich our parks here in California are, our surroundings are. If we'll just open our eyes and see them, and ask the right questions and do a little, pardon the pun, digging.
Little digging up the facts, and always visit your local museum because they'll have the answers.
You got in a plug for the museum as well. And that's it. That's been our day here in Carpinteria at the Salt Marsh and at the State Beach. Two wonderful parks right here in Santa Barbara County. Two parks that are definitely California golden parks.
I love you, California. You're the greatest state of all. I love you in the winter, summer, spring, and in the fall. I love your fertile valleys, your dear mountains I adore. I love your grand old oceans, and I love a rugged shore.
Well, hello everybody. I'm Huell Hauser, and I sure hope you had as much fun as I did visiting these two beautiful and historic parks. If you'd like to go on this adventure again, share it with family or friends, or perhaps donate a copy to your local school or library. It's available on video cassette and on DVD. All you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727, and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.
This presentation of California's Golden Parks was made possible by Toyota, who wants you to get out and see these incredible parks for yourself. Toyota is committed to preserving their natural beauty with its hybrid synergy drive technology in vehicles like the Prius, Highlander Hybrid, and Camry Hybrid. Lower emissions and higher gas mileage help hybrid synergy drive vehicles have a minimal impact on our natural wonders. We'll see you next time on California's Golden Parks.